Hello everyone.
My name's Georgia.
My name's Miller.
And we are Media Amateurs.
Alright, so today we're here to talk about the Australian film industry. So to start off with, we're going to ask a few others on their perception of the Australian film industry.
So Dad, what is your perception on Australian films?
I believe that over the years it's grown, it's improved because we tried to really look at the Australian perspective on the Ockerish kind of, the way we talked and that kind of thing. But I think it's grown now with all the different nationalities in Australia and the industry learning. I think the movies are a lot better competitive to American movies now, whereas before it used to be kind of focused on more of our Ocker kind of characters, which we still love, but it was kind of a little bit embarrassing at times.
So Mum, what is your perception on Australian films?
My perception on Australian films in the last 5 to 10 years, I believe that Australian film has actually come a long way to represent the modern Australian. And unlike, a decade ago when we were being represented as what I feel were more caricatures of the Australian way of life, I feel that, as a human being, you want to see yourself in characters and in movies and television. And when you see Australian film, for a long time it felt either too English or it felt too overly exaggerated. And I feel like in the last 5 to 10 years, we're just telling real stories and we're being more ourselves and speaking the way we normally speak and doing the things we normally do. So we start to see ourselves in those characters more. So I think that Australian film and television has evolved quite a lot in the last 5 to 10 years.
Do you feel like we still have a long way to go there?
I think that Australian film is actually galloping. It's actually galloping forward. We're not only starting to produce really good films, but we're doing great collaborational work with other countries. We're also producing really fine quality actors, that just keep on coming. And a lot of the industry is coming to our country now to film because of the quality of our behind the scenes people. They've just gotten better and better in the industry.
It's made to write to a budget. You can't tell an amazing story to a small budget, so we're stuck telling the Australian story, which is being told over and over again, just stories about our culture, nothing new. And I guess that's why sometimes people find it as cultural cringe, because that's the only type of content Australia can make, is telling it of our culture, what it is and what it's like, and that's all people know. Although Australia has so many different cultures, we are quite similar to other countries, but we are very unique, and we ourselves sometimes find it cringy when people don't understand our humour, the way we create our content, what we find entertaining. So when we see our Australian films up on the big screen, we just find it cringy because we know no one will understand it the way we do.
Based on my reading and viewing of Australian film and TV, it's very obvious that Australian films are always about culture and the Australian story, and I feel like we need to branch out more like America and the bigger film industries, because they aren't always just focused on their culture. It's a whole variety of things, and that's what makes it interesting for everyone. And that'll really eliminate the whole cultural cringe situation that we have.
So in conclusion, I think Australia has great potential.
Yeah, because we have such like great actors and stories to tell, and
Yeah, we're just too stuck in the Australian story rut. We need to branch out. Like the American film industry, we don't see the same type of stories being told there.
Yeah.
We see continuous stories of everything and anything, not just the American story. You know, we can see those type of stories being told in other countries. That's why we love it so much. All up, we just need funding, and that's all it is. Just funding. And the only way we can really create great funding is when we have content Australians want to see, and the only way we can create great content is not being stuck in the Australian story rut where people find cultural cringe. We can create good stories, it's just finding a way. This is Miller.
this is Georgia.
And you've been listening to
Media
Media
Amateurs.
Amateurs. See you later.